The lost tribe returns. The prophecy of Manasseh is being fulfilled. Imagine this: a hidden tribe in the remote mountains of India claims they're descended from one of the 10 lost tribes of Israel. They sing Hebrew prayers. They keep the Sabbath. They dream of returning to the land of their ancestors. But here's the shocking part. The government of Israel agrees. What if the Bible is being fulfilled before our very eyes? Could this be the tribe of Manasseh, returning home 2,700 years later? And could this mean prophecy is accelerating faster than anyone expected? In the northeastern hills of India, in the states of Manipur and Mizoram, lives a small but determined community. They call themselves the Bnei Menashe, Hebrew for sons of Manasseh. They aren't modern converts. They sing songs about crossing the Red Sea. They tell stories of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, stories their grandfathers learned from their grandfathers, passed down through countless generations. Here's what's incredible. These weren't learned from books. These weren't picked up from missionaries. These traditions were inherited. But inherited from who? And how did they survive 2,700 years? Let me take you back in time to unlock a mystery that spans millennia. After Solomon's reign, ancient Israel split into 2 kingdoms. The northern kingdom, with 10 tribes including Manasseh, became increasingly rebellious against God. In 722 BC, the Assyrian Empire swept down like a consuming fire. What happened next changed history forever. The Assyrians didn't just conquer, they scattered. 10 entire tribes were forcibly relocated, dispersed across the known world. Most assumed they vanished forever, absorbed into other peoples, lost to history. But what if they didn't disappear? What if they just migrated? Here's the incredible journey. Samaria, Persia, Tibet, Burma, India. The Bnei Menashe have oral traditions speaking of the Shinlung Cave, their ancestral stopping point during this epic migration. For centuries, they preserved the memory of their true homeland. They survived exile, but their purpose was never lost. And that purpose is about to be revealed. But why Manasseh? Of all the tribes, why is this one so significant? Manasseh was Joseph's firstborn son, born in Egypt during the years of famine. When Jacob was dying, he did something unprecedented. He adopted Joseph's 2 sons as his own, saying they would inherit alongside his other sons. Genesis tells us Manasseh received a double portion, land on both sides of the Jordan River. Joshua records their unique inheritance, spanning from the Mediterranean to the eastern wilderness. But here's where it gets prophetically stunning. Why is Manasseh specifically included in Revelation's sealed 144,000? That question will blow your mind when I reveal the answer. The pattern of Israel's exile reads like a tragic epic, repeated across centuries. First came the Assyrian exile in 722 BC. 10 tribes scattered like seeds in the wind. Then the Babylonian captivity in 586 BC. But those exiles eventually returned. What came next was different. What came next seemed final. Jesus himself prophesied the temple's destruction in haunting detail. Luke 21:6. As for these things which you are looking at, the days will come when there will not be left one stone upon another, which will not be torn down. 70 AD. Roman legions razed Jerusalem. The temple burned. The people scattered to every corner of the earth. For nearly 1,900 years, there was no homeland. Through pogroms, persecution, the Jewish people wandered. Then, against every historical precedent, against all odds, 1948, They returned. But the story wasn't over. It was just beginning. 1950s, northeastern India. A tribal leader has a vivid dream. In it, he sees a vision of his people's ancestral homeland, a land flowing with milk and honey, a land his ancestors once called home. What happened next defies explanation. Christian missionaries arrived in the region, bringing Bibles translated into local languages. But instead of converting the tribes to a foreign religion, something extraordinary occurred. They didn't adopt the Bible. They recognized it. These weren't new stories to them. These were their stories. The festivals they'd been celebrating for centuries matched perfectly with Levitical law. The songs they'd been singing contained Hebrew words. The customs they'd preserved reflected ancient temple practices. They weren't learning about Israel, they were remembering it. But recognition is just the first step. What came next would change everything. 2005, a moment that shook the Jewish world. Israel's chief rabbi officially recognized the Bnei Menashe as descendants of the lost tribe of Manasseh. After 2,700 years of exile, they were finally acknowledged as coming home. But bureaucracy moves slowly, and time was running out. May 2023, ethnic violence erupted across northeast India like a powder keg exploding. What happened next was every believer's nightmare. Synagogues burned to the ground. Sacred Torah scrolls, some hand-copied over generations, went up in flames. Community leaders fled for their lives. Deaths were reported. Ancient communities that had survived 2,700 years of exile were suddenly facing extinction. But here's what most people don't realize. This isn't happening in just one place. What's happening in India is part of something much bigger. Something that will amaze you. Beta Israel. Ethiopian Jews airlifted home in dramatic rescue operations. Crypto Jews in Spain and Latin America discovering their hidden heritage after 500 years of secrecy. Communities in Nigeria proving genetic links to ancient Israel. Lost tribes in China maintaining Jewish traditions for millennia. Afghan Jewish communities evacuated in heart-stopping rescue missions. Look at the map. See the pattern emerging? From the mountains of Ethiopia to the valleys of India, from the plains of Nigeria to the steppes of Central Asia, they're all coming home. This isn't coincidence. This isn't random migration. The return isn't just happening, it was foretold. And the prophecies are more specific than you ever imagined. Ezekiel 36:24. For I will take you from the nations, gather you from all the lands, and bring you into your own land. But here's what most people miss about this prophecy. This isn't just about geography. This isn't just about political borders. Notice what comes next. Moreover, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you, and I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh and give you a heart of flesh. Physical return plus spiritual renewal. That's the complete picture. Paul understood this mystery when he wrote in Romans 11:25-27. For I do not want you, brethren, to be uninformed of this mystery, so that you will not be wise in your own, that a partial hardening has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in, and so all Israel will be saved. But here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. Revelation 7 names the sealed tribes, including Manasseh. But notice something shocking. Dan is missing. Why is Dan excluded? And what does Manasseh's inclusion mean for our understanding of the end times? The answer will change everything you thought you knew. Let me shatter a common misconception that's confused millions of believers. The 144,000 are not symbolic of the church. They're not representative of all believers throughout history. The book of Revelation has 3 references to a group of people numbering 144,000. Revelation 7:4 says, "And I heard how many were sealed, 144,000, 12,000 sealed from every tribe of the sons of Israel." Why are they sealed? When are the 144,000 sealed? They are sealed to be protected from future judgment. The book of Revelation first mentions a group of people after 6 seals have been opened, causing misery and destruction to the earth's inhabitants. These 6 seals include representations of false prophets, war, famine, and pestilence through 4 horses, followed by a religious inquisition that led to the deaths of faithful Christians and heavenly signs. In this teaching about the future, Jesus described this time as one of great tribulation, such as has not been since the beginning of the world until this time, no, nor ever shall be. Matthew 24:21-22. For at that time there will be a great tribulation, pressure, distress, oppression, such as has not occurred since the beginning of the world until now, nor ever will again. And if those days of tribulation had not been cut short, no human life would be saved. But for the sake of the elect, God's chosen ones, those days will be shortened. The sealing of 144,000 people occurs after the tribulation and before God's punishment is unleashed upon the earth. In the following chapter, it is explained that 4 angels who are ready to bring destruction are instructed not to harm the earth until this specific group of people has been sealed. Revelation 7:1-3. Amplified Bible. After this, I saw 4 angels stationed at the 4 corners of the earth, holding back the 4 winds of the earth so that no wind would blow on the earth, or on the sea, or on any tree. Then I saw another angel coming up from the rising of the sun, holding the seal of the living God. And with a loud voice he called out to the 4 angels to whom it was granted to have authority and power to harm the earth and the sea, saying, "Do not harm the earth, nor the sea, nor the trees, until we seal, mark, the bondservants of our God on their foreheads." In the New Testament, the word sealed originates from a Greek word that means to stamp with a private mark. It means to keep something hidden or protect or conserve the sealed object. The use of seals was common in official contexts. For example, a Roman centurion would have affixed a seal to a document that was intended solely for the review of his superior. If the seal were broken, the person who received the letter would know that the letter had been altered or read by someone other than the person who had originally sealed it. The seal of God serves as a distinguishing mark. It signifies that God is safeguarding certain individuals who are His authentic followers. This seal is mentioned in the visions of Revelation, particularly during the tumultuous and ominous events. It's important to know that this seal isn't a physical mark. It's more like a spiritual badge. It's a way to show who is really connected to God and who is under His protection. The idea of sealing in Revelation is rooted in an ancient practice, but it is given a spiritual significance. These servants of God will receive a protective seal on their forehead, containing God's name in some manner. Revelation 14:1. Then I looked, and this is what I saw. The Lamb stood firmly established on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 who had his name and his Father's name inscribed on their foreheads, signifying God's own possession. The servants of our God. We are not told what exactly their service is, but the 144,000 are sealed for a specific and unique purpose. However, the general idea of being sealed is not limited to them. While some angels were tasked with restraining Satan and his agents, another angel was responsible for identifying and differentiating the faithful servants of God. Revelation 7:4-8. And I heard how many were sealed, 144,000, 12,000 sealed from every tribe of the sons of Israel. 12,000 were sealed from the tribe of Judah, 12,000 from the tribe of Reuben, 12,000 from the tribe of Gad, 12,000 from the tribe of Asher, 12,000 from the tribe of Naphtali, 12,000 from the tribe of Manasseh, 12,000 from the tribe of Simeon, 12,000 from the tribe of Levi, 12,000 from the tribe of Issachar, 12,000 from the tribe of Zebulun, 12,000 from the tribe of Joseph, and 12,000 from the tribe of Benjamin were sealed, marked, redeemed, protected. This is their general identification. They are of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Ethnically, they are Jewish, and there are 144,000 of these chosen ones. This text refers to a specific group of individuals known as the 144,000. These individuals are divided among the 12 tribes of Israel, with 12,000 individuals from each tribe. It's believed that only God knows their tribal ancestry. Interestingly, the tribe of Dan is not included in this list of tribes. Some people speculate that this is because Dan is associated with the Antichrist, based on references in Daniel 11:37 and Jeremiah 8:16. Daniel 11:37, and he will show no regard for the gods of his fathers or for the desire of women, nor will he show regard for any other god, for he will boast against them all. This may or may not be the case, but without doubt, Dan was the tribe that introduced idolatry into the nation of Israel. Many different groups have claimed to be the 144,000. Insight into the identity of the 144,000 from Revelation 7 and Revelation 14 can be gleaned from certain facts. Number 1, the group of people referred to as the children of Israel are descendants of the biblical patriarch Jacob, who was later renamed Israel. They are also known as the Israelites. Revelation 7:4. Number 2, their tribal affiliation is specific. Revelation 7:4-8. Number 3, during the period of God's wrath, they will be protected and triumphant, and will meet Jesus at Mount Zion upon his return. Revelation 14:1. Number 4, they are celibate. Revelation 14:4. These are the ones who have not been defiled by relations with women, for they are celibate. These are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These have been purchased and redeemed from among men of Israel as the first fruits, sanctified and set apart for special service, for God and the Lamb. Number 5, they are the beginning of a greater harvest. Number 6, they are marked by integrity and faithfulness. Revelation 14:5. Taken together, it is difficult to argue that the 144,000 are symbolic of the church. The act of sealing, as described in Revelation, signifies a divine mark of protection and ownership. This sealing process symbolizes a spiritual preservation during times of tribulation. Each of the 12 tribes of Israel contributes 12,000 members, signifying completeness in God's selection. The number 144,000 is rich in symbolism. In biblical numerology, 12 often represents divine authority, completeness, perfect governance. Some say the 144,000 are symbolic, but the Bible gives their names. They're not like Israel. They are Israel. Each tribe, each sealed. Manasseh is there, a tribe thought lost, now returned. They will be witnesses during the tribulation. Could the Bnei Menashe be part of this end-time mission? The sealing of the 144,000 is a sign of God's sovereignty and his ability to preserve his chosen ones in the midst chaos and destruction. This notion offers comfort to believers, assuring them of God's protection and the importance of faithfulness. Let me leave you with a truth that should shake you to your core. Not one tribe forgotten. Think about what this means. Across 2,700 years of history, through empires rising and falling, through persecutions and pogroms, through cultural shifts and generational changes, God preserved tribal identities. In remote mountains of India, in the highlands of Ethiopia, in hidden communities across the globe. This is the same God who promised Abraham his descendants would be as numerous as the stars. The same God who promised David an eternal throne. The same God who promised through Jeremiah a new covenant. From Abraham to Revelation, the thread of faithfulness runs unbroken. Now here's the question that should penetrate your soul. If God is this faithful to Israel, how faithful is He to you? If He remembers scattered tribes after 27 centuries, will He forget your prayers? If He fulfills ancient prophecies to the letter, can you trust His promises to you? The answer is written in the return of every lost tribe. Ancient prophecy, modern fulfillment, divine faithfulness. We've traced the journey from Samaria to Shinlung, from exile to recognition, from dreams to homecoming. But the story isn't over. There's still a missing piece to this prophetic puzzle. Next episode, is Dan the missing tribe? I want to hear from you. What do you think the return of Manasseh means for prophecy? Are we witnessing the setup for end times events? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Because one thing is certain, we're living in the most prophetically significant time in human history. And the best is yet to come. Isaiah 11:12. And He will lift up a standard for the nations, and assemble the banished ones of Israel, and will gather the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The tribes are returning. The prophecies are fulfilling. The question is, are you watching?